In the thick fog that shrouded the ancient valleys and mountains of China, the echoes of war could be heard everywhere. Swords clashed, blood soaked the ground, and kingdoms vied for world domination. Amidst this din, a man was born who did not seek to be a hero on the battlefield, but rather to change the way humanity understood warfare itself. His name was Sun Tzu, the thinker of war, author of The Art of War, whose teachings echo from the past to the present day. He was not just a general, he was the architect of strategy, the philosopher of war, and the shadow of wisdom behind every great human victory. Around the 5th century BC, China was divided into 7 great kingdoms. This period is known as the Warring States period. Zhangguo Shidai. Kings vied for power. Armies marched endlessly. Villages were reduced to ashes. It was in this turmoil that Sun Tzu was born in the kingdom of Qi, a region in northeastern China known for its scholars and warriors. From a young age, Sun Tzu displayed extraordinary intelligence. He studied not only the art of fighting, but also philosophy, politics, and tactics. He realized one crucial thing, that war is not just a matter of courage, but a game of the mind. Sun Tzu's fame began when he wrote a short treatise entitled Bing Fa. The Art of War. Closing parenthesis. This work caught the attention of King Helu of the state of Wu, an ambitious ruler seeking to expand his territory. The king summoned Sun Tzu and asked, "You write much about strategy and discipline, but are your words merely theoretical, or are they truly applicable in the real world?" Sun Tzu replied calmly, "Give me an army, and I will prove it." So, King Wu gave him 100 palace maids, not soldiers, not warriors, but gentle women who had never held weapons. Sun Tzu divided them into 2 armies, appointing 2 of the king's favorite concubines as leaders. He gave a simple order: when I beat the drum once, you turn right. Twice turn left. 3 times turn back. The drums were beaten, but the women laughed, treating it as a game. Sun Tzu looked at the king and coldly said, "If orders are disobeyed, the fault lies with the leader." He ordered the 2 leaders, 2 of the king's concubines, put to death. King Helu shouted, "They are my favorite women." But Sun Tzu simply replied, "If a general receives an order, it is his duty to carry it out, not to argue with it." The sentence was carried out. After that, the remaining women became the most disciplined army King Wu had ever seen. Sun Tzu proved discipline is not instilled through words, but by firmness. The Art of War consists of 13 short chapters, but each sentence is a timeless wisdom. Sun Tzu wrote, "War is a vital matter for the state, a path to life or death." For Sun Tzu, war was not just about killing the enemy. It was a science of understanding people, time, and circumstances. In one of his teachings, he said, "To win without fighting is the pinnacle of greatness." He taught how to organize troops like water adapting to the shape of its container, how to deceive the enemy with calm, and how to win a war before the sword is drawn. Sun Tzu's strategy was not just theory. It was applied by great generals throughout history, from the Han to the Tang dynasties, from Napoleon in Europe to Douglas MacArthur in the Pacific, and even to the modern business world. Sun Tzu taught the 5 basic elements of war: Ta morality, Tian time, De place, Zhang leadership, and Fa method. He understood that humans fight not just to win but to survive and defend their beliefs. In every line of his writings, he imbues the philosophy that war is not merely chaos, but also a reflection of the human soul. However, beneath all of his strategic teachings hides a much deeper message. Sun Tzu spoke not only of war on the battlefield, but also of the war within oneself. He wrote, "The greatest enemy is not the one standing before you, but yourself when you do not understand who you are." For him, true victory lies not in conquering the enemy, but in conquering fear, greed, and ignorance within oneself. That is why his teachings are timeless. From warlords to corporate leaders, all learn the same lesson: wisdom is the highest form of power. 2,500 years have passed, but Sun Tzu's name remains immortal. The Art of War has been translated into more than 30 languages. used by military academies, diplomats, and modern athletes alike. In a world constantly at war, whether with weapons, words, or technology, Sun Tzu's teachings remain relevant. If you know yourself and your enemy, in 100 battles, you will never be threatened. Each generation finds new meaning in his words, because ultimately, war is not just a physical battle, but a test of human wisdom. Night falls over the ancient land of China. Amidst the mist and moonlight, the shadow of a man appears to walk slowly, carrying a scroll in his hand. He leaves no palace, no army, but he leaves behind something far more powerful, an eternal thought. In a world filled with chaos, Sun Tzu's voice still rings out, soft, yet firm. True victory is when war never begins, because for the sage of Wu, a calm mind can stop 1,000 swords.